Hello everyone, it's Gomirath here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a guide on double counter battle pets. Now these are pets that have bonus damage versus a particular type and reduced damage taken from those kind of attacks. Now in our first slot we have strong versus humanoid, tough versus humanoid. I would recommend picking up spiders. They are all over the world, there's all kinds, and they almost all have basically the same moveset, which makes them really strong versus humanoids. They have leech life, which is an undead type attack, and it does bonus damage to humans, and it also will heal you for double damage if the target's webbed, i.e. brittle webbing or sticky web. You can also use grubs, but I don't like them quite as much. For our next slot here, I would recommend picking up the Scourge Dwelling. They do bonus damage to dragons and take reduced damage from dragons. They have Call Darkness and Dreadful Breath, a fantastic combo, and they can wipe out entire teams of dragons like it's nobody's business. Now the HH breed is also incredibly tanky with 1800 health, and the power speed breed is decent, but I would pick up one of each just to round out your team. You can also have Blight Breath. He's a pet that drops from Icecrown Citadel, but these guys are really easy to pick up and they're fantastic. Now the double counter to flying type pets are prolific. There is a ton of them. It's just any dragon type that has magic type attacks. Now Chrominius is a really popular pick. He's fantastic in PvE, he's decent in PvP, but another two solid picks would be the Nether Fairy Dragon, which is found out in Feralis, and the Nexus Whelpling, which is found around the Nexus. These are all really fantastic pets. Definitely you want them in your collection to round out your arsenal. Now when it comes to killing undeads, nobody does it quite like frogs. Frogs have really powerful critter type attacks, and they take reduced damage from dot damage, which a lot of undeads have. If you've seen my nearly headless Jacob video, he can be beaten entirely with a mud jumper. Frogs are prolific, they're all over the world, really easy to catch, and they're just fantastic versus undeads. Definitely something worth adding to your toolkit to beat all the tamers in the world. When it comes to killing critters, nobody does it quite like humans. There are several double counters to critter types, and these three that you see on the screen are all found out in the wild. The Flare Youngling, the Kunlai Runt, and the Stunted Yeti are all fantastic picks and just great overall pets. Humanoids have a really powerful racial that make them last for a very long time, and all these have beast type attacks. They're definitely some of my favorite pets and ones worth adding to your collection. When it comes to dealing with magic type pets, nobody in the game does it quite like the mechanical Pendant Dragonling. He's a really easy to obtain pet made from engineering, and he's fantastic. He has Explode, Decoy, and Breath, as well as Bombing Run, Thunderbolt, and Flyby. He's in 11 of my teams, and he's just a solid all-around pet. Definitely one that you should pick up. If you aren't an engineer, you can pick him up on the auction house for a couple thousand gold, and he's definitely worth it. I can't tell you how often I use this guy, and he's one of my favorite pets in the entire game. As far as elementals are concerned, snails are their worst enemies. Snails are critter types that have a really hard-hitting aquatic type move in dive. I use snails all the time. I would recommend the health power breed and the health breed. Anything other than that, and they're not optimal. But snails are definitely your friend. They're found all over the world, and they're very, very strong picks versus elemental type. As far as the double beast counter, the mechanical Axebeak is definitely your best friend. This is another crafted pet that is found on the auction house or made by engineers, and he's fantastic. Also, you could use Stormwing or Moths. These are flying types that have the Call Lightning ability. But I definitely think the Axebeak is the best as far as the anti-beast type pet goes, and he's relatively inexpensive. As far as Aqua type pets go, the Enchanted Broom, the Jade Owl, and the Harpy Youngling are all fantastic picks. Now the Jade Owl is a crafted pet that comes from jewel crafting, and the Enchanted Broom, I think that comes from a world event, I'm not exactly sure. But the Harpy Youngling is a great pick. She's not a double counter to Aqua type attacks, but since she's a humanoid, she just regens 4% of her health every turn, and I think she's definitely a strong pick when you're going up against a lot of aquatic type pets. Definitely worth checking her out. When it comes to murdering robots, elemental types are definitely your friend. All of them take reduced damage from and deal tons of damage to robotic type Now, my particular favorites are Little Ragnaros, the Magma Rageling, and the Fellflame. These are relatively common pets. Most people, if you've ever bought a pet off the store, it's Little Ragnaros. But these are just really fantastic pets versus robots. And that wraps up my double counter video. If you found this helpful, and if you have questions about where to find any of these pets, I would recommend picking up the Pet Tracker add-on, as well as Rematch and BreedID. Those 3 particular add-ons will make your PvE pet experience, as well as your PvP pet experience, so much better. A like rating is always appreciated, and remember to subscribe for more WoW content.